Hi, Dr. P here to talk about something that ought to be obvious, I think, to people when they teach somebody how to play a game or when they write rules, but evidently it's not obvious to a lot of people. And that is that you have to tell the reader or listener how to win early on, because that provides context. Now here's an example, not from games. The other day my wife was telling me how her brother, who lives in London, England, intended to get her elderly parents, who live in Western England, to his place for Christmas. He had various options. And I'm wondering, as she's telling me this, why is she telling me this? I had a suspicion, and it finally came out, that she was thinking about making the 4,000-mile trip to England at Christmas time. But she should have said that first. And I would not have been puzzled. I would have not have wasted some of my time and my brain energy wondering why she was saying what she was saying. Or take the example of a young fella, he might have been 14 or 15, who was demoing a game at Gen Con, and the very first demo he did was for me. He described the pieces, described other things, and finally I had to ask him, what's the objective? Because he was describing these things to me, but I didn't know how they fit into the game. I didn't know what I could do with them because I didn't know what I was supposed to achieve. Once I knew that, I understood much better what was going on. Oddly enough, an experienced demoer came by and advised the lad to leave how to win until later in the demo. That's a bad idea. Even if somebody doesn't want to win, they have to recognize what the other players are probably trying to do as they try to win. Even if nobody in the game is trying to win, nonetheless, the game is designed for people who are trying to win. And so you understand it better if you know why or how you win. Readers will understand rules and games better if you provide an overall context at the beginning. You're teaching the reader via the rules how to play the game. Now, you don't want any reveals in the rules. It's not TV. You don't want any surprises. You're not writing a story. You're writing a technical manual, whether you like it or not. You want to make everything clear. And you want to make clear up front the overall context of the game. Two items establish that context. One is the description or welcome or introduction, whatever you call it. That includes what the game represents, if anything, especially if it's a model of something, and what kind of game it is. For example, number of players, length, is it a casual light game, is it a funny game, is it a serious game? What kind of game is it? Then you should have a brief how to win section that sets the stage for understanding the rules. It doesn't have to be complete. But if the player doesn't know the objective, then the player will be at sea. So many rules writers fail to say up front how to win the game. And that's a big mistake. So after the initial welcome and description, tell the reader briefly how to win. Then you can talk about components and so on, and end with how the game ends and how you win in full detail. Now, if you're not convinced about this, think about when you read a nonfiction book. Don't you want the author to tell you up front what he or she is trying to do? That's what the introduction is for. It's the same in games. Tell the rules reader up front what the objective is. Once again, to me this is obvious with a capital O, but evidently not to everyone. Maybe my teaching experience helps make it obvious to me. Thanks for listening.